Hello, people. This is Ready Rob Boxing Talk. Today, we're here to talk about Terrence Crawford and his interview with the Pivot Podcast. We're going to touch on a couple things. Um, it's a subject that he was talking about that I can kind of relate to. And that kind of draw me a little bit more closer to Terrence Crawford because I kind of could feel him when he spoke about not having his dad around, not having his mom around, or really getting that support. You know what I'm saying? Like he said, most of the time he was at his fights with just his coaches and friends. And I kind of could relate to that because I was one of them talented guys as well, to where I felt like I'm the best on the court, the best on the field, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't have the support, you know? I didn't have my parents in the stands. I didn't have my dad. He didn't raise me, you know? So at the end of the day, he said that made him a bitter child. And I kind of could relate to that because I became a bitter child. You know what I'm saying? So when he spoke on that, it kind of touched me in a way where I felt like, man, I know the feeling of not being supported, but being very talented and everybody praising you, but the people that you love, you know? And I kind of, you know, gained my respect for him because I know what type of kid, you know, he was. He said he was angry, you know. He was always mad, you know. And I was kind of one of them kids, you know. I used to see other people with their moms and dads supporting them at the game, and I'm just wondering, like, damn, why my mom and dad don't come to support me, you know? And you know, I don't really fault my mom so much, but I kind of fault my dad because I feel like that's something that I actually wanted to experience growing up. My mom was always there, you know, but she put me in all the sports. So I was able to do my thing, but you know, she just didn't come to the games or stuff like that. But she made sure I got there, you know. But my dad, you know, I just feel like, you know, that dad bond is kind of different, you know. But to make it to where Terrence Crawford had made it without that support system shows you that he has a strong mentality and he didn't give up on himself, you know. Even after he got shot, you know, a fragment of the bullet went in his head, um, he still was able to have people that cared for him enough to where he changed his life around. He said after he got shot, he changed his life around. And he started chasing, he stopped kicking it with the people he used to kick it with. Terrence Crawford realized that God gave us another chance at life, and he wanted to capitalize on that. And you know, he finally, you know, made it somewhere in life to where he can have his mom around, he can have his dad around. So he in a peaceful space in his life to where, you know, he kind of conquered and broke the generational curse with his kids and being there for his kids. Like he said, you gotta feel like you're the best father on earth, you know? So at the end of the day, that's how I feel about my kid. I feel like I'm the best father on this earth, you know? I support my kid. We just had a game today and we came out on top, you know. My main thing is I coach my son. I actually support my kid, you know, and that's what it's all about. And Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence are family men. They are young men with kids and dreams and goals. And come July 29th, they chasing a big, big dream. And that's becoming undisputed welterweight champion of the world. And this is one of the biggest fights in boxing history, four belt era. It's going down, people. Terrence Crawford also spoke about growing up and just being a hot-headed kid, you know, always wanted to fight and prove himself. But being the only boy, I know how he felt because I was the only boy. You know, like I know I was the only boy till I was like 14, and then my mom had my little brother. But I still always felt like the only boy because he was 14 years younger than me. So I understand where he come from when he was talking about just being the only boy. So you know, you had to be tough, man. And that's why I'm tough, you know. And I understand, like I can relate to Terrence Crawford. I definitely can. Like he really made me. I was already a fan, you know. But he draw me closer to him because I can actually relate to his lifestyle. You know, I grew up with four sisters in the crib and just me. You know, so 14 years of my life it was just me. You know, and I understand when he said that his sisters was tough and all that. I can relate to that because all my sisters were tough. You know, like me being the third child, I always had two older than me, so I always had to prove myself to one or two. You know what I'm saying? So it always made me feel like I always had to prove myself because my sisters were tough. They was tough. You know, my mom showed me tough love. Like I can relate to everything that he was saying. So Terrence Crawford, I know what he done been through. Like I know what he done been through, you know, because I was that kid, you know. Sometimes you feel like the black sheep of the family, you know. So he made something out of nothing, you know what I'm saying? So I feel the same, and I'm striving for the same thing. And boxing is something that I love to do, you know. Still chasing it. Just remaining to be seen, you know. Once I get to that point and I'm seeing, I know the right people gonna want to take me under their wing. And Terrence Crawford showed me that you could kind of make it no matter what your life is as a child, you can still become somebody. And Terrence Crawford shouldn't even be here today, but he's here. So at the end of the day, he went through his trials and tribulations, and he conquered those. Um, like I said, like that's it touched me in a way to where I feel like emotional, like damn, like somebody know what I done been through. You know what I'm saying? Somebody actually speaking what I done been through, you know, and he actually doing what I love to do, and that's box. And Terrence Crawford actually opened up in a way that, speaking and talking draw the fans closer to you, not being outspoken and being closed off to fans and all that. That's the main reason why it's hard to become a big star. But the moment he opened his mouth and he talked, because he's a cool guy, you know. Terrence Crawford, a funny guy, man. I actually like Terrence Crawford, you know. I just chose Errol Spence because that's who I was rocking with since day one. And they both great fighters. And I wanted to touch on this topic because I can relate to it. I can actually relate to not being supported, being shown tough love, always getting my ass whooped all the time. Like I can relate to it. Always getting blamed for something, I can relate to that. Growing up with four sisters in the crib and just me. Always having to fight all my sister battles and all that. Like everything that he said, I can relate to. And that's the reason why he is who he is today. Because he had to get shit the hard way. Nothing was given to him. He had to get it the hard way. And that's how I feel. Had to get it the hard way. And once you make it to the pinnacle and achieve your goals, you start to appreciate it because you know where you came from. Terrence Crawford know where he came from. He know he in the biggest fight of his life. And he look like he ready for it. He's calm, he relaxed. He don't look like he nervous. He just look like he ready for that day to come. And it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Even though I got the big fish, I'm still a fan of Terrence Crawford. And after the fight, win or lose, I still respect him as a man. And That's what's important. Respecting these fighters for fighting the best. You know, win or lose. You know, I'm not gonna shit on them. None of that. You know, I'm gonna just say I told you so. You know, and after he fights Spence, I'm a Crawford fan, and I'm just gonna be honest. Win or lose, I'm a Crawford fan because I know he got great potential to keep going in the sport, and he already a two-time world champion, champion at 135, undisputed at 140, and he a WBO champion at 147. They both going into this massive fight, definitely legendary, and all the marbles is on the table. It's all about who won it the most. Just like Spence said, he said blood and guts. That's what it's going to take to win Saturday night, July 29th, in Vegas at T-Mobile Arena. I hope you guys got your tickets. I hope you guys ordered the pay-per-view. I hope you guys going to a fight party, but you don't want to miss this fight here because this is the biggest fight in the last decade, maybe two. So at the end of the day, the world is going to stop for this fight. Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford. And that's about all I got to say, man. Like, I touched on what I wanted to touch on as far as the interview. I know they asked him multiple questions, but that was just something I wanted to speak about because I actually can relate to Terrence Crawford and his lifestyle growing up, being the only boy, you know what I'm saying, and having to go through the things he had to go through to become who he is today. And that built character, you know. And I respect Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence for giving this a mega fight. And I appreciate all you guys coming to Ready Rod Boxing channel. I want you guys to like and subscribe to my channel, and you will get exclusive content just like this. It's Ready Rod Boxing Talk, and I'm out.